thank you all for coming. This started as an oral history interview with Jack Abrams 2 springs ago. So I started at 149 and went up the west side of Route 9, Canada Street, and I got to the school and I stopped, and I thought, that's long enough, and I'll work on the east side for the next show. But since I stopped at the school, I figured I should probably continue past the school a ways and then round the corner to the east. So just past the school is the Admiral Motel. So we have old pictures from 1978, thanks to Mrs. Hawley, who took the whole photos of every business along the way in 1978. So 1978 here, Admiral Motel, and it's changed hands, of course. Next, Cole's Motel, which is now the Heritage. Started out as the May Bob Hotel, 1951. Cole's Motel in 1958, and the Heritage after that. The Nichols family started the Mario's restaurant in 1954, so it's family owned for over 70 years. Still going. I do believe it's for sale though, and they would love to sell it. So if any of you want to buy a restaurant, Mario's is for sale. So the Mohawk Motel started as a little motel over here, and now it's America's Best Value up on the north end of the village. Now this is the Baymont property, which is abandoned, not operating. It was the Lake George Motel, Econo Lodge, and perhaps the people that own the other motels, they're trying to get a conglomerate up there. A motel, what's his name? No, he's a lawyer. I can't think of it. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Not Mentor. Yeah, they have Nordics, I think. All right, so then the Balmoral, when we were in high school, the Fortunatos owned it. Now it's the Lake George Inn, and that's right up at the top of the village between the 9 and 9N split. Nordics is next on the list, and that is still there. Maybe this is working again. It is working again. Pine Brook is up 9N, that's still there. Here, I'll go back over here. It just locked up on me. Then this was Heinemann's house when we were in high school. It was the Marionette's Inn and Shop in the 1920s. Now it's a private residence on the northern end of the village. The brook runs down through here, North Brook. All right, so now we'll go to the east side. So Scotty's Motel began as the Fernwood Inn when the Kokoza brothers bought the property in 1948, and then they bought the property across the street and built cottages and expanded it with over 70 motel units. So the Fernwood Inn is no longer there. It's basically where the Pine Brook and Nordics are. I don't know if it burned down. It probably, everything else did. Seems like it. All right, so Lake Haven is coming down the road up here. And he's improving it. He's a motel magnate, and he owns Motel Montreal, which is kind of squished down behind the Lake Haven on Lake Avenue. All right, so originally the property from Pine Point, which is behind us, just to the north, all the way up to Lake Avenue, was part of the Hayden estate, and which he actually purchased from the Caldwell heirs. So all of this land here was part of the Hayden estate. So the motels the property got sold off in acre chunks, 4-acre chunks, and eventually all these little motels with their swimming pools were built on this property. And the high school was part of the Hayden estate. Mario's up here. The bowl, that's the lower field.
Do you have any awareness as to whether that was filled in at that point? Because the bowl was originally artillery park for Montana disembarked.
I don't think it, well, yeah, it's probably filled in for the wetland was filled in. Just up across the street. All right, so starting up here, the Red Wheel Balsam will go down through the old pictures of the old motels and new pictures. The Red Wheel, when we were younger, in the 70s, 60s, 70s, was the first part. Flapjack Pete's and the Tamarack Inn were all right there. And Flapjack Pete's is still there, breakfast place. Shore Meadows and the Balsam Motel. Then the Sundowner, some of these older pictures. Here's 1978, 1990, old 1950s ad, and a current one, photo. O'Sullivan's has been there for years. Early 1950s, and this is today.
Is it still owned by?
I'm sorry?
Is it still owned by one of those?
No. Sullivan's don't own it anymore. Surfside started off like this little building. Here's their old ad, and it's gone through many changes over the years. This is current Surfside, just up the road. And the Georgian's gone through a lot of changes as well. And this was actually the original property for the Caldwell's mansion house in 1821, I believe. And it's gone through a lot of different owners. It was part of the Hayden estate, as were all of the others. And this is their current frontage, which has got a little sailboat, and it lights up at night with their name. Then the Lake Motel and Park Lane were there. And I was just reading today that the two owners of the Lake Motel and the Park Lane Motel got arrested by Lieutenant Blaze in the early 1950s because they were violating village ordinance by posting their room rate on their sign. And they got arrested and they went to court. I know, I thought that was interesting. You're not supposed to post your room rates. And the one guy's argument was, well, I didn't have one car stop, so I put the room rate up and then people started stopping. That was a while ago. Lake Crest was owned by the Sochas. And these are all still here. Marine Village, built by the Burton brothers, started off as cabins, and then they added motel rooms, and they continue to build and add on. And now it's owned by the people that own the Marriott, the Kenny family. All right, so then we have our First National Bank, which is not a First National, it's Adirondack Trust now, built. This was 1953 when this building was built, and they touted the first drive-through banking in Lake George.
You want to mention, to say that the original high school
Right here.
Ah,
The original high school, Lake George Union School in the 1920s. It was there until they purchased the land across the street from the Hayden estate and built the new school. And in this picture, the library is there, built in 1906. You can see the school building here next to it, 1915, Lake George Library. 1920, the school building's still here. 1946, and then current Lake George Library. And the library was awarded DRI money, so now we're going to have handicap accessibility in the back come whenever they get their construction done or started. It's not even started. And then here's the original First National Bank, which is still here as a coffee shop. Through the years, it was the police station at one point for the village, and I guess there's still the safe in the basement, from what I understand. Okay, the corner right here where Duffy's is was James Caldwell's office in the 1800s. Then a mobile service station. This is my grandfather. He ran the gas station here, John Haskell, for a number of years, tire sale and all that. My mother's father. So this is Duffy's right here, that property. It was originally a rooming house here. And then the boardwalk down behind. I took advantage of a pack of matches that my friend Gretchen had been saving matches forever, and she gave me this giant bag, and so I'm picking out all the local matches. The boardwalk is one of them. They don't give out matches anymore at these restaurants.
remember when the Sayonara and the Romo were down there?
Yeah.
I wonder if that building, I don't remember if that building was there or how that was laid out. That was in the 60s.
This building?
Well,
Or
they
this?
had the two tour boats there someplace somewhere. I don't think there was a restaurant there, you know. Don Smith was there.
Weren't they down
They said both.
on Beach Road though too?
Well, they did for a while,
Yeah.
but they were here for a while.
All right.
They ran into a problem with
Who else remembers? Ellen, you remember?
I kind of remember we're at the west side of the boardwalk. They had boat rentals.
All right.
I remember how it turned out.
There's a little bait shop there. I remember.
A bait shop, a
Big
gas
yes,
stop.
yes.
You remember? No, you don't remember. But way back, George Bates had his boat building right here. All right. Continuing on to the courthouse. Here we are. Originally, the county clerk's office was here. That was demolished 1960s, I believe. And then, thankfully, oh, there's your father, Todd's father, Bob Flack, Winnie LaRose, Charles Hawley, and Earl Bump. Earl Bump.
He was there.
She saved the courthouse, basically. And now the town owns and operates it. Thankfully, it's a beautiful building. We're glad they saved it. Continuing south, the Lake House stood right next door. One of the first hotels built in the state. It's believed to have been built in the 1790s. These were Lake House workers. Sarah Farrar gave me that picture. And here's just some of the older pictures of the Lake House as it sat. They had a big long dock too, here. Then Shepherd Park, lots of activity. We're glad that it was saved in the 1900s, early 1900s. George Foster Peabody had a lot to do with saving a lot of the properties that are around, donating money, and he was instrumental in getting the community to rally around, as was your grandfather, Edward Parrott. parrot people. Yep. Good old parrots. So this picture here is the opening. It's like September of 1917, I believe. And this is when this is the 70s, 1970s. More pictures of the park and how it was laid out. The old dock, Shepherd's Cove, that's 1990. And I hear talk of them thinking about putting a viewing platform when they redo Shepherd Park in the coming months, years. So that'll be a welcome addition to the park. Then the Jolly Roger. Some of you might remember the Jolly Roger, Rogue's Roost. And this is an old picture of in my family's collection, and it's winter obviously, but that's part of the lake house here. Jolly Roger. I can't hear your question, sorry.
Did they move Jolly Roger, the whole building?
Oh, they did, part of it,
It's a
yeah.
lobster shop.
Yeah, up to Zachary's. It was Zachary's, and now
Mohican.
the lobster pot.
I vaguely remember them rolling that down the street.
Yeah, there should be more pictures of all the buildings getting moved. I don't know why people didn't take pictures of that. But anyway, the village bought some of the property and enlarged Shepherd Park to the side. Now, this is Casey's Outlook, which was down here across, just down at the bottom of the hill here. That's lower. This is Lower Amherst here. And so Casey's sat here for a while during the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, I believe. Oh, yeah, Outlook. Okay, Carey's. And then the hardware store was Tripp's Hardware originally here. Then Rexall and here. And this is a more current shot of the property that's there now. It's not a Rexall drugstore anymore. It's a Lake George Popcorn Company, I believe. The Lakeview Hotel is still in existence. It's not a hotel, it's now shops and kind of falling down, but still there. This here, Thatcher's owned it for a while, and then the Parrots owned it too, didn't they? Yeah, the Lakeview Hotel. Did you? And the Eastleys owned it when we were in high school.
Who was it?
Eastleys, do you remember them?
I just remember the Charlie Reno.
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, he does still own it. All right, continuing on, Hammond Lodge, the shirt shop. They were all on Main Street when we were young. And that's all torn down now for the Village Mall. Here's the Village Mall. As it sits, that's another DRI project as well, isn't it? And winterizing it and making it more of a year-round locale. Then Christie's, which is still Christie's, but it's also, well, here's the sweet shop. Remember the Graffs had sweet shop. Christie Lane here. What?
Lloyd and Bob Christie.
Is that who it was?
Lloyd was a New York Central engineer, train engineer.
All right.
I used to hang there all the time when I was a summer cop.
Did you? By the ice cream
Place to
stand?
hide.
Oh, inside, yeah. You could walk inside the little self-serve, not self-serve, but window. Okay, this is an old picture. It's not in great shape, but it just gives you an idea what was there beforehand. And this was the post office. And this Yeah, this is old, like 1870s, I think. I know, kind of cool, right? So here's the original post. Fred Hawley was postmaster in 1898, and looking back, it's that same building. You can see the windows and the top dormers, or whatever you call them, here.
Mansard roof.
Mansard roof.
Second Empire.
Thank you. Second Empire. I like it. So that's that building, and that was the original one of the original post offices, and then we still have it, even though the stamps went up to 78 cents this week. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. I think it was 1948, I think.
See, it says it was built for $75,000, including the property, construction. That's pretty amazing.
I know, really.
Neat murals in there.
I think so. I probably shouldn't have covered up the...
It has that WPA mural in
It
there.
does, it's beautiful. So that would have been earlier. It would have been the 30s. All right, so down behind the post office was the Lakeshore Court Motel, which then turned into King Neptune's. And here, this is before the Lakefront Walkway was built, 1993. Old postcard of the motel here, Lakeshore. What? Langworthy's. No, I'm not sure. Pete and Marge Brown. Oh, okay. And did they own that? She. All right. Well, that might be it. I'll have to investigate. All right. So continuing on, this is down behind the post office, before the Lakefront Walkway. Then we have the Japanese Bazaar, our favorite building. Yep. Remember Mrs. Kurosaka, and here's the soccer machine, which is right over there. We used to play penny soccer. It was so much fun. I know, I'm so glad it's here. And there it is, right there. And moving south to the A&P, which was right next to it. Yeah. Bob Grant, that's right, I remember. I remember the coffee, the ground coffee, and how good it smelled when they'd grind the coffee. And my mother tells the story that I wanted the Easy Bake Kitchen thing that was up on the top shelf above the produce, and I really wanted it for Christmas, and so they surprised me with it. But she said because it had been up on the top of the produce, up on the shelf, that it was all grimy and horrible, and she had to clean it all up, give it to me for Christmas. Of course, I don't remember that, but anyway, it was from the A&P shop. All right, so here's an aerial view, an old area. I think this might be a Parrot photo, actually. But here's the Stone Store, and coming down Canada Street. Here's the post office and Sky Harbor, but we'll get down there. So this is the old motel back here. All right. Yeah, he did. I think they still do. All right, so I never did find a good picture of Vincent's, yeah. I found the fire, and it was 1974 that the fire burned this whole block, and Davy Jones' locker was destroyed. Muratori's had fire damage, water damage, and just for Todd's sake, here's Earl's Ford over here on the other side of the street. So this is the 60s. All right, keep continuing down. I'm still looking for... All right, so this is what happened. It was built after the fire. Davy Jones and Vincent's burned. They built these lower shops, which are still there today. And now they've changed hands. They've made different store fronts out of them. But they're still there, just south of the stone store. And then there's Muratori's for Marissa, your grandmother's. One of my first jobs, working in Muratori's, Yola's, hand knits. And your sister told me that your grandmother used to knit like outfits for sale, crochet and knit. Yeah. That, a lot of people knitted around town. Ladies would knit around town to be sell in the store. All right, so it was Merkel and Gelman's for a while, Muratori's. All these store fronts are still there, but they've changed hands through the years.
How long ago was that, the Merkel and Gelman's? Certainly before our time.
Yeah, it was. I think it was, the late 40s, early 50s. Because your grandmother started, I think, in the early 50s.
No, it was actually the 40s.
Was it 40s? So this is earlier then.
Because look, it says Merkel Gelman's Falls, so they must have...
A branch of.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Betty? Do you remember when Merkel and Gelman's was here?
Falls, yeah, that's in the sun.
So they must have just come up for the summer.
They had the thing that would shoot up to the
They would have been just a summer.
You get your money back afterwards. And,
That's right, the pneumatic tube.
yeah.
All right, that's what I needed. Send me that picture. All right, so this is Jack Abrams' family store, and that basically started this whole thing. And it recently sold, so that building is in new hands, but the building is still there, right next to where the visitor center is. That was at one point Sky Harbor, which was a very popular spot, but it'd been there this was like the late 1920s, and they called it Sky Harbor because they landed float planes there, and you could take a ride, and you could go to New York City via float plane and landing at Sky Harbor, until the locals said, no, we don't want commercial airlines on Lake George. Make too much noise and they're bugging us. Right? So it was George McGowan's for a long time. And then that also burned in the late 1970s. Then we have our little corner with Parrott's Golf Course, right? Parrott's Mini Golf. Right here. And I was told by maybe Alex that he used to roll up his greens and pack all his stuff and bring it to Florida for the winter. What, the earliest?
That's a picture of my grandfather,
Right here, that's your grandfather. All right.
because he's putting that ad, I think it's a year.
Yeah, it was a yearbook. Yeah.
He always bought an ad to support the year.
Yeah, good. As did Earl's Ford, right? And don't we all miss Neva roast beef sandwiches and Mike submarines?
His George Parrott is Alex, my grandfather, Marissa's grandfather's brother, and he had the farm. Edward Parrott, the minister, is Marissa's grandfather.
Right.
George is our grandfather, brothers,
All right.
and he was
Parrots.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
And Edward, by the way, is the oldest, and George is the youngest, and they used to call him Little George.
Little Georgie. And Karen Horn said this was her family's first ice cream stand right here.
That place was Harry Moore's.
First,
That's where Harry Moore started his ice cream.
yeah, I heard that. And Art Jones had this,
That was started by our uncle James Moore.
James Parrott.
And then Art Jones got in with the.
All right, see? History. It's all around us.
We know the corner where we are.
And you guys know it. All right, so Towers Hall, which is now the Carriage House, this is early. They're not tailgating, they're just waiting. And this is one of my dad's photos, 1967. Look at all the trash, how it's changed. Was the Lake George Inn, now this all incorporated. And look at how beautiful the Carriage House has become from that to what it is now. They've done a fabulous job. I know, it's beautiful. You guys have been in there, right? Yeah, it's lovely. They've done a beautiful job. So, I have the fan, I can't hear you. Yes, there was in the Towers Hall.
Yeah, we go to the places.
Yes, summer stock. I think the Eastwoods were there for years, then before they moved up to the Holiday Inn. All right, different iterations of the Fort William Henry Hotel, going south, up the hill.
My father tore down the top 2 floors at one point.
Ah.
And then recently, in recent years, they put
Of this
2
part
floors
here.
down.
This was torn down. I know, it's changed a lot, and for the better, I suppose, though we would like to still have this. We would. But yeah, right. That's what happened. Up in smoke. All right, so going south up the hill from Fort William Henry, where Gaslight Village is now, at one point was the railroad yard and Noises coal and lumber and a sawmill there.
Remember the great big sawdust pile? You don't remember that great big sawdust pile we did? I don't remember that. Not want anybody.
No, we don't remember that.
Yes.
No, we
You can see
don't.
the train station.
You can see the train, right? And the tracks came up. They actually came all the way up here. And when Charlie Wood bought the property in the late 50s, he took out that giant pile of sawdust. Yeah.
But it was a huge one.
Right. And so then Charlie Woods buys it, Gaslight Village, which operated for many years. I think it opened in 1958 or 9, I believe. Storytown was first, and he built it because he wanted the parents to have something to do at night, or wanted to continue the amusement park venue from Storytown, which closed at 5 or whatever time. And then Gaslight Village would stay open till 10 or 11 at night, yeah. And remember they had the spotlights and floodlights, like the airplane floodlights. And at that time, there was a lot of UFO reports because the lights would go so far into the, like Lake Luzerne, they'd see these lights in the sky, and it was Gaslight Village. And this I remember, it was just like a little modular thing that didn't last too long, but it was on the property. And the Wax Life Museum was across Westbrook, Betty Little Boulevard from Gaslight.
Futuros, actually. I miss that Futuro house. Right?
Yeah.
Come on.
And Terry Horn had something to do with that one.
Futuro House.
On 73.
It's still around?
Still there.
Ah.
Yeah.
It was like a little indoor house, right? It was seats or I don't ever remember going in it.
Made in Europe.
What?
They were made in Europe. Only a few made. Gary, is it still up in Lake Placid? Still up in Lake Placid?
Gary says
Lake Placid.
the Futura house is still in Lake Placid somewhere. We have to.
Randy Horn lived in that.
Randy Horn lived in there?
Yep, and they built.
Good thing she came.
Yeah.
Good thing you came, Pam.
Miniature golf course up in Lake Placid. Wow.
Randy Horn built it.
On the north end of the
That's your Texas City, heck,
Yeah.
He bought it and moved it up to Lake Placid.
there's a miniature golf course.
All right.
That's probably-
Randy Horn bought it, moved it up to Lake Placid. Helene's son moved it up to Lake Placid and put it in a mini golf? No.
It was on some residential property.
Oh, okay. So it still exists. Somebody's got to find it. Todd, that's up to you.
What color was it?
What color was it? Was it like yellow?
Pale yellow.
Like a beigey yellow. All right. Good. Well, everybody's helping me with this story. I can't hear you.
Was it there when the cavalcade of cars?
I think so. It was on the other side. I know. Thank you for coming. I need this info. I told you I didn't have any notes. All right. So that was fun. Whoops, this one. All right. So here's the overview. And the round bank was built for the Chamber of Commerce initially. So you can kind of see gas like this, the paratrooper. Oh, and the Montcalm, the Montcalm restaurant was there for a while, up on the hill, on the Fort William Henry property. You would remember that, wouldn't you?
Oh, me?
Jeff, yes.
I remember in the gal, was it a gal that owned it? Montcalm North?
Well, the Beckus family.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mrs.
I
Beckus.
remember hearing Del Dunbar almost got run over by a car driven by her in the parking lot over something.
All right. Well, it was,
The 70s were more active than
well, it would have been, yeah, the 1950s. My mother actually worked here, and she got fired. Mrs. Beckus fired her because she wanted my first birthday off, which is August 2nd, and you must work in August in Lake George. You don't ask for your kid's first birthday off. But Mr. Beckus rehired her like the next day or something.
Mr. B rehired?
Yes.
He was a sweetheart.
He was. She was a hard nut to crack.
But she was kind.
Yeah, she was. Your mom worked for her. I worked for her too. Yeah, me too.
Didn't they open that for Dean to operate?
No, Dean is across the street.
Yeah, he was across the street at Dino's.
Oh.
That's where Dean's was.
Yeah. He probably worked there at some point. All right, anyway, history. Thank you all for coming and adding to our show. All right, so up the hill from that is the Tiki. This 1950, and Charlie Woods built it, and he built it because he was a world traveler, and he brought all sorts of artifacts back. And the woman Janet Null's an architect, and she's trying to do an architectural tour, different tours around the Adirondacks. And she said to me that his hotel, his South Pacific Hotel, was the first one like in the Northeast. And it was built even before Disneyland built their famous Tiki, I can't think of the name of it, hotel. Like he was a precursor to Disney World or Disneyland in California. So there it sits, it's still there. Yep. Battleground Park, part of the Fort George Park, the campground and day use area. A lot of the men from the CCC built the fireplaces, built the cabins, the caretaker cabin, and it's still there and probably full.
I think it was one of the first state campgrounds.
It probably was. I would believe that. That and Hearthstone Point.
I think so.
There's an interesting CCC book that's in my historian's office, and they have a lot of oral histories of the different guys, some of the local guys that worked for the Civilian Conservation Corps in the 30s, and their stories of being up at the camp up in Bolton, North Bolton. Yeah. Yeah, interesting, very interesting. And then A&W has been there since the 50s. Yeah, there is a lot of history all throughout the whole Adirondacks. And then Colonial Manor, which was there for 43 years. The Spitzer's family owned it and operated it for a long time before they sold to build the Lake George Forum. The Lake George Forum.
Wasn't that, that's Spitzer's was down on Rite Aid, or Walgreens.
No, that's Kenna's. So Boats by George purchased it in 2023. Lake George Forum, 20 years before that, opened in 2003 by the Spitzer family. And then going a little bit farther south, Trails End. Now this is, it then turned into the Villager, and right now it's an empty lot between Boats by George and the little log cabin that's the real estate place, which I didn't take a picture of.
Cobble Mountain.
What?
Cobble Mountain,
Cobble Mountain.
were those cabins.
All right, this one says Trails End.
Oh, and that's where you born.
So, well, they changed names too. And then there's one behind it too. So then we have Lincoln Log. Jeannie Flack, Jeannie McEnany started it. Her father actually started in 1950, I believe. And the Swiss Village, Lincoln Logs. And there was a Chevron station. The Chevron station is where the Chamber of Commerce building is now. And all right, so then this is the Stewarts, one of the first Stewarts. Now this is the new Stewarts, which is not that new anymore. And Kenna's was on the corner, which is now Walgreens. And Kenna's, I don't remember it. I mean, I remember the building, but I don't remember ever dancing or music. But that's that corner, 9L. And then across 9L, south, Waterslide World, the Fort George Drive-In. It was there a long time, right? And 1955, they had church services on Sunday. Imagine, that's the way to go to church, right? It's kind of like Zooming.
And then in between that and Marshall, remember Point Diamond was right there in front of the
I don't remember that, but Pam's saying that the Point Diner was there, and then they moved that over to Art Leonard's, right?
Yeah.
The Prospect Mountain Diner.
right there in front of the drive-in.
In front of the drive-in.
In front of it. And then there
I
was
have to find a
drive-in.
picture of that.
And then they moved, Art Leonard bought it and moved it down because they were going to be
They were widening the road, and they had to move it.
Waterslide Road or whatever was coming in, and he picked up that diner and moved it right down the road.
We need a picture of that too. All right, so coming close to the end here, this Eddie Pagnotta sent me this picture. This was his grandfather's, where the barn cider is now. Open air market. He was a vegetable, 1950, and then it turned into, he had a liquor store, and then it was a deli, and now it's the barn cider. He's really gone big. No, I don't remember it either.
At one point, the liquor store was half. It was a half and half.
It was.
Market was still there.
Well, then they had this is, 1978. That's one of Mrs. Hawley's pictures there. So, yeah, the liquor store and then a deli on the south side.
You see what area the delivery truck is at? Can you read that? I don't know. See this?
Oh, right here, Dobert's.
Is it Dobert's, really?
I think so. This
Yeah,
right here.
Dobert's or Dolmans.
Yeah, one of the two. Good. All right, well, that's my show.
It's nice, Marcy.
Thank you for all the input. I need it. I need all the help I can get, believe me. So,
You did a great job, Mark.
well, you helped a lot. All of you did. Throwing stuff in. I appreciate it a lot.